Welcome back, my friends, to another exciting, head-scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. I'm back once again. I found me a little story about a young woman who went missing, and I'm going to get into it. But first, in the news today, I've been new about this, but there's a video on YouTube. Yes, I am one heck of a YouTuber. I'm always on there. Toys R Us is literally shutting its doors, and that was like maybe 2 months into the summer or 2 months ago. It's crazy because we're talking about a chain of stores that opened its doors back in the 1950s, and it's been the biggest toy store in the world. Okay, it's got chains all over the planet, of course. I even think I saw some information on Toys R Us in Canada that's still operating, but it's under new management. So I guess with the other Toys R Us chains being separate, that one was able to stay in function, but just under new management that probably didn't have nothing to do with Toys R Us. I don't know. But Toys R Us, people, is closing its doors. And there's one Toys R Us in the video where it literally was abandoned, and they literally left the toys behind. And they was throwing them all out, in the back, in the grass, and people would come in and take the toys. When it first happened, windows were being busted in. People was going in there trying to see if they were going to just leave the toys behind, and that makes you wonder about a lot of places that go out of business. What do they do with all the merchandise? Do they just sell it or give it away to all their family members? That's a lot of stuff. What is all this stuff? Do they trash it? I don't know, but anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself tonight, but just thought I'd throw that out there because when I saw the video, I was just blown away. I heard about it. I even saw a post about it a couple months ago, but to actually see it just shut down. I got a Toys R Us by my house. I go to Toys R Us all the time to pick up Spawn action figures. I collect them. I've got almost maybe 100 action figures, and most of all the ones that I have are handcrafted by his people, because the other ones were like the movie version, from the Spawn movie that he did, that Todd McFarlane did with Michael Jai White, headlining Spawn. But yeah, so I'm a huge Spawn fan. I love the comic book, and it's well detailed. Just the graphics and the intricate drawing techniques that he used for the characters. It's amazing. Like, I like the way he does the hair on black people in the cartoon. In the cartoon and in the comic book. It's very detailed. Like I said, I just like the way he. Oh man, if you got the comic, if you ever had the comic books, you know what I'm talking about. The detail of the characters. Just the way he did it was just incredible. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get to this story about this young woman because I was pretty amazed when I first saw the information about her. Now, she's an experienced hiker. Her name is Samantha Sayers. She's still missing weeks after going on a solo hike in Washington State. It's pretty much cut and dry. They got this big story on who she was, and and like how she always been, because she suffers from alopecia. It's a autoimmune disease, which makes you lose your hair. So she's the kind of person that tried wigs, but it didn't work out. But the only thing that made her happy is her getting in front of an entire school and letting them know what's under her wig and letting them know what alopecia is and all that kind of stuff. You know, she was like a rebel. You know, because like she had to live with it, so she, you know, just became, I won't say defensive over what she had, but she was a proud person. You know, so she was and then she, like I said, like the post said, she was an experienced hiker, so she's been doing this for a very long time. Now, on August 1st of 2018, Samantha decided to go on a hike by herself, and she often does. You know, like I said, she's been doing it for years. Now, Samantha's mother, Lisa, told Dateline that for some reason, call it mother's intuition, she was nervous about Samantha going on this particular hike. Samantha had planned to summit Vesper Peak in in Washington's North Cascades. Now, this is a route she'd taken before, and told family she'd be back, or she'd be gone from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Apparently, that's one heck of a hike. So it takes just that long for you to get from point A to point B, and point B will be back at home. So, but yeah, now the morning of the hike, Samantha said goodbye to her boyfriend Kevin and left for the trail. Kevin said that after Samantha left the house, he texted her to remind her to be careful. The last text I sent her that morning was me saying, "I know you don't need me to tell you this, but the terrain can be dangerous." And she just replied something like, "I know, I love you," Kevin told Dateline. He added that he was 110% sure he'd see her that night. Well, I mean, after all the times that she's been out there, I would imagine he would have thought that too. You know, I mean, hey, she's never been late before, obviously. You know, that's why he knew that she would be back. You know, but things change. This is happening all over. But anyway, now authorities would later learn that hikers saw Samantha on her way up Vesper Peak around mid-morning. Another hiker would later report eating lunch with Samantha on the trail. Okay. And seeing her again around 3 p.m. at the summit. Now, Samantha's mother, Lisa, told Dateline it only would have taken a couple of hours for Samantha to make the descent from the summit to her car. If she was at the summit at 3 p.m., Lisa said she should have made it back to her car by 6 p.m. as she said she would. But Samantha never made it back to her car. Her boyfriend, sitting at home waiting for Samantha's call, grew concerned. Now, by 7 or 7:15 p.m., I was on the road. The reason I jumped to it so quick is because she is prepared. She sticks to her timeline. Excuse me. Kevin, this is what he told Dateline also. He says he drove to the trail after picking up a cheap flashlight at a nearby gas station. Let's see. I hit the mountain around 10 p.m. I didn't have any gear with me. It was a sad state of affairs, Kevin said, adding that his flashlight broke a few hours later. Dang. Well, he said it was cheap, so what you expect? Now, he called 911 to report Samantha missing around 1 a.m. Now, normally they say you can't really do that for another 48 hours. I think they said. I think it's 48 hours. Anyway, it's either 24 hours or 36 hours. I don't think it's 48 hours. That's stupid. So it's either 24 hours or 36 hours. But I believe it's 24 hours. I'm not sure. I mean, I've never reported anyone missing, so even if I hear it on TV, I still don't really think about it down the road, even though that's, you know, useful information. Just in case somebody else don't know, you can tell them. Excuse me. Okay, where was I at? Oh yeah. Okay, now Lisa, who lives across the country in Samantha's hometown of Girard, Pennsylvania, didn't find out her daughter hadn't returned from the hike until she woke up on August 2nd. Oh boy. And saw that Kevin had posted on Facebook asking if anyone knew where Samantha was. I just lost it, Lisa told Dateline. Thinking back to when she first read the news, Lisa says Kevin was in panic mode and had been out searching the mountain with forest rangers, so she didn't find it odd that he hadn't contacted her first. Let's see. Snohomish County Sheriff's Office. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I remember I was looking at this a couple of, I think maybe last week, you know, but I never really got a chance to actually look at it. Okay. But that's pretty much it. Now it's saying here that the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office reports that more than a dozen agencies sent volunteers to search for Samantha, who they described as an experienced day hiker, after finding Samantha's car still parked at the trailhead. Authorities brought in 3 K9 teams to help scour the mountain. King County Search and Rescue is on the scene this morning, conducting an air search using FLIR, that's thermal imaging cameras. I know you already know that, but that's just what it says. Okay, now the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office said in a release, the weekend after Samantha disappears, Snowhawk 1 conducted an air search operation for 33 hours over the weekend, including a FLIR search operation. Photos posted by the sheriff's office show the steep, rugged, and complex terrain. Personnel and volunteers from more than a dozen other agencies are working to find Samantha. Samantha's mother, Lisa, says that when she and Samantha's father, Ron, traveled to Washington a few days after their daughter vanished, she saw the dangerous mountainside herself. And I will be putting that in the thumbnail so you can see the terrain that she had to climb just to get to a certain peak. Oh boy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, it's a pretty dead on, like, long ass story about who this woman was, because I mean, this is something that should have a lot of information on, because we're talking about an experienced hiker that still went missing in an area like that. I mean, the terrain is treacherous, but she did it. She was doing it before that. She's climbed that peak more than once. Okay, yet she still ended up disappearing. That's why I said that seems to happen all the time. A person who is an experienced hiker, been doing it probably since they were knee high to a private eye. I've said it like that in the past also. You know, I always used to love Knee High to a Private Eye because it's just funny. I used to love that cartoon. But anyway, so you got all these experienced hikers. Okay, they've probably been hiking with their father or even their mother since they were probably like 5 or 7. You know, old enough to appreciate the hike or whatever. And then it goes on into adulthood. They're still hiking. They're still traveling the trails. They're jogging. They're doing whatever because they just know what they're doing. Then, out of the blue, when you least expect it, you pop out of existence. Or poof, really. So it's a poof. You know, just gone. Okay? Nobody sees it happen. Nobody hears it happen. it just poof, gone. Okay, now there's stories about how the dark ones that I've talked about before, these are the nasty aliens. They purposely or just don't care by leaving invisible doorways in different dimensions open for us to just walk through. Now, I've always heard that there are aliens out there that don't like humans. They actually feast on our flesh. I've heard that, and I posted a video about that probably back in 2017. Okay, or 16, which one? I'm not sure. It was a while ago, but I did post a video about that, about a guy, can't remember his name right now, but it was an older cat, and he talked about that. So, you know, all I'm saying is anything could have happened to this woman. I would rather hear something positive about it. It's saying that maybe she, well, that's not positive, but it's a lot better than the person just vanishing without a trace, literally. But you know, might say that she probably lost her footing and rolled down a little embankment that led to a cliff, and she fell to her death. And I hate to put it like that, but you know, this is really falling into the category of the missing 411 cases. So I apologize if any of the family members are watching this. I don't mean to sound too blunt with what I'm saying, but you got to look at all sides of this. You know, they have these situations that happen in these national parks, you know, or where, you know, where you go to do all this stuff at, you know, where people lose their footing, you know, or they just, anything can happen. So I'm the kind of person that puts all of the cards out there for you to see and look at all of the different scenarios, all of the different theories, ideas, or facts that could lead you to a true answer. That's all I'm doing. Okay? I'm not here to overlay what is already out there. I'm not here to say, oh, that's what I know is happening, so you just got to go with what I'm saying. I'm not doing that either. But these kind of disappearances call for you to think, you know, out there. Okay? Sometimes you have to do that. But you can't just put it on alien abduction. You got to think about, I mean, I know we've also talked about wormholes as well, but you got to know how it all works. Okay? It's only one trip. You can't come back. Okay? Because these things open and they close. They open up to different levels. So you going into it and trying to go back into it to get back home, that ain't gonna work. You're gonna end up being on another level somewhere else. You know, of course, these levels that I talk about are parallel Earths. Okay, so you gotta put that in there as well. You gotta, you know, if it's a strange vanishing, you gotta have a strange theory or factual theory to sum it all up. I'm just saying. You know, I've had people tell me that, oh, you're crazy, that doesn't happen, that's impossible. That's because you're a skeptic. Okay? You look for logic before you look for anything other than that. That's like I said, I've talked to people before. The powers that be only want us to believe in the physical. They don't want you to believe anything beyond that. Anything that goes beyond the physical. Anything that isn't physical. Okay? They don't want you to believe in any of that. Especially if there's a program that they don't put in your mind, which they have done ever since the day we were born. They put these programs in your ego. And these programs cause you to doubt everything that they're trying to keep you from finding out about. As long as you have that doubt, they don't have to worry about the truth getting out there. I'm just saying. And it happens with everything. The program comes from all of this, including these people that disappear. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Let me see. All clear. All right. It's one of my viewers. You know, because I was telling people to, you know, hit me up. You know, telling people to, you know, to hit me up and let me know if the sound sounds good. So, and they are, and I'm very, very, very glad for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just put a little thumbs up. I don't feel like, you know, doing a lot of typing. I'm already trying to do a video here. So, anyway, but yeah, so, but like I said, you know, you still have to open your mind to other possibilities, especially when you're dealing with a very strange disappearance, one where she just vanishes off that daggone peak. Okay, she's an experienced hiker, so there should be no reason for her to disappear like that. She should know what to do. I mean, if they call her an experienced hiker, she obviously does. But when you're going out into an area like that where these things happen all over the world, where people just seem to vanish, they're not prepared for that. They're not. They're not prepared for a wormhole that seems to open up right in front of you, but you can't even see it until after it's too late. Okay, you're either gonna be falling through a wormhole that leads to another level, or you're gonna walk through some type of like wall, like an energy wall that blocks the view of what is on the other side. You can walk through it, but you just can't see it from the side that you're on. Just like there was a story about this, and I talked about this before, about a guy who was walking in the forest, and he comes up to this ripply looking, like it was just like a wall of ripply energy. Everything looked distorted. That's what it was. Everything just looked, it was like a wall of distortion in front of him, right? So he slows down to a crawl, right? And he walks up to this thing that was in front of him. It was like some sort of vortex bubble or whatever. And he takes one step forward, his foot goes through this thing, and it disappears. I'm surprised it didn't suck him right through, but it didn't. So that's a good thing. But the fact is, he saw what he saw. Never doubt your eyes, people. I told you this a while ago. Never doubt your eyes. Your eyes will never lie to you. Now, people who try to say, oh, they were just hallucinating or they were seeing things. 9 times out of 10, all the stuff that you try to say that same thing about is the one thing that is real. And that's the whole point of all this. You got to stop doubting everything that you see. Okay, if you saw something, but it just looked too strange for you to try to describe what it was real, trust me. I've been there more than once, but I know what I saw. Okay, you just can't say, oh, I was hallucinating if you know you weren't. Okay, that's just you doubting what you just saw. That's part of that program that they put up here. But this stuff starts happening the day you were born. Okay, now I know you ain't gonna remember none of that, but it feeds into your life later on. It's like it comes out when they want it to. And then that's when you start saying, oh, okay, this sounds familiar. That's why. So, but yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm a part of this Sliders Twitter page. You know, it's like one of my favorite TV shows. And if you've never seen it, it stars Jerry O'Connell. He plays a young man, a young physicist who went to Caltech on his level. His name was Quinn Mallory, and he got his friends Rembrandt Brown, who was a singer, and Wade Wells, who was a computer hacker, and Maximilian Arturo, Professor Maximilian Arturo, who was also I think he was an astrophysicist or a physicist. Yeah, English accent, very deep, you know. But it was a very good show. It had a lot of good, concepts on wormhole travel. You know, sliding from one dimension to another. bringing your knowledge of what you experienced from your level to theirs, changing lives as you go along. Can you imagine that? Me bringing what I know from this level to another level, changing their lives because of something that I saw that didn't look right. So I figured I'd throw some of my knowledge on them, saying, well, on my world we did this, on my world we did that. And if, but that's just basically what they were doing. And it was a very good show. Then they canceled it. Now they're talking about doing a reboot. And I really, really hope they do, because I love that show. They left us hanging when Rembrandt Brown himself went through that wormhole, knowing he was going to die because of the Cro-Mags, waiting for him on the other side. And right after that, that's when the show ended. I was so pissed. I've been wanting to know what happened to my boy Remy ever since that day. That's been over 20 some odd years. And this is the funny part. In the show, they said that you'll be stuck on that level for 29 years if you miss the slide. And if they are going to bring the show back, I bet you they'll wait another 9 years before they bring it back. That would be kind of funny. They waited 29 years to bring the show back with a reboot, and then now what they gotta do is they gotta get Quinn Mallory unstuck, and they gotta find the actual Arturo that came with them on the slide, because they got mixed up on one of the Earths where his double tried to off him because he wanted to take over his life, knowing that he slid. So they tussled before they slid to the next world, right? And they got a little mixed up because they was wearing, I think, the same outfit. And they couldn't tell, they were rolling on the grass, punching each other. And then the guy who ended up being the one that was the professor that they didn't know, he was from that level, that world. He ended up going with him. I'm thinking that's what happened, because at the very end you see them zoom in on the Arturo that who came with them from their level. He was like, oh my god. And then they cut it. So to this day we don't know what happened to that man. But anyway, I'm getting way off track, because I'm pretty sure people don't even watch Slider or never did. But the ones that do, you know what I'm talking about. I love that show. But anyway. But yeah. Like I said, with this here, you really got to open up your mind to so many different ideas of what you think could happen. And it got to get stranger and stranger. You can't just keep them on the same level. Logic is not going to bring this woman back. Logic is not going to help you understand what made her vanish the way she did. I mean, there's no trace of her ever found. And it's only been, what, since August of this year? That's last month. The first of last month. And she still ain't been found. They've been searching and searching and searching. She just poof, and she's gone. I mean, she probably didn't even realize that she walked right through it until it was too late. Maybe, just maybe, she could be on another level, forced to live her life somewhere else. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't mean to be facetious about all this, but that's what this stuff brings out in a person who has an open mind, because it is a strange vanishing. You can't get any more. You can't use logic in something like that, because I know that I've heard of some disappearances that looked like that could happen, but it turned out she just wanted to get away, so she stayed gone for a while and then she came back. Okay, but I don't know. But these types of disappearances make you say that. I mean, if they just vanish without a trace, what is she gonna say? Oh, they were kidnapped? No. A kidnapper is not gonna make someone vanish without a trace. Now, I'm not gonna say that's too much, but I'm just saying there's always gonna be some evidence if a person gets kidnapped. I mean, I just watched a video on Facebook of people being caught on camera snatching kids. Some of them were evaded, some weren't. But you literally saw it on camera where a guy runs in, snatches the kid, and tries to run out. These two women runs after them, because I think that was her daughter, her oldest daughter. She had a baby in her arm, and she had her daughter was over by the window. You know how kids do. And somebody rushed in, grabbed kid by the arm and tried to rush out. They ran after whoever the person was. They got their kid back. But there are some who will grab the kid and they tugging on the kid, trying to keep them from stealing. And they still trying to pull at them. I'm like, that was crazy. So, like I said, there's gonna be some evidence, video evidence of these things happening, of people just disappearing. Just like what I just told you. There is an actual video on Facebook that shows these people literally committing a kidnapping on camera, and there was quite a few of them too. You know, and it was crazy. I mean, it shows you they were trying to kidnap because they grabbed the kid and tried to run off with him. You know, so that's my point. My point is, there's always going to be some evidence if a person was kidnapped, even if it was a grown woman. Okay, but when you just vanish without a trace in the middle of nowhere where nobody saw it happen, see, that's the crazy part. It never happens around people. You always end up being out there in the middle of nowhere. Think about it. Whoever makes this happen, whatever makes this happen, does not want to be found. So, what do? You make these things happen out there where they can't find you. In the middle of nowhere, in the woods, in the forest, on the top of a mountain. The only one that probably see anything happen is a freaking mountain lion, if that. I'm just saying. I mean, you really got to open up your mind and examine all levels of what could happen to these people. I'm just saying. Because I can't just go with one idea and leave it at that. It don't make no sense. I could never be logical with any of these disappearances. Now, if it's a person that just went missing, you have to stay that way because you want to find that person. But when it shows that they just vanished off the face of the earth, I mean, right away, they knew they knew that she was going there. And she even told them when she was coming back, but she didn't come back. Anything could have happened. She could have maybe planned it where she wanted to get away, so she made it sound like she was going to hike, and then she met up with somebody and they drove off into the sunset. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's just one theory that's logical. But judging on her character from what her mom talked about in her interview, there's no way in hell she would do something like that. So, we go back to what could actually be the main reason why she vanished. And I use that word heavily. Vanished. Okay? She literally vanished. She didn't disappear. She didn't, leave from work and she's gone. It wasn't so much like that. I mean, it was the same scenario, but she literally vanished. That's the only thing you can say. Everybody wants to know why these people disappear. Now, if you want to know the answer, you're going to have to get rid of everything that you hold so dear when it comes to knowing something. Because it's going to blow your mind. I can guarantee you that. The answer is going to be something you ain't going to never be ready for. You know, people say they want to find out what happened. But then when it starts getting weird, you can't help but realize that maybe I don't want to know. And then you back away. You back off. Me, I move forward. Because when I hear a story like that where someone just vanished and it doesn't look like they're going to ever find her or him, I keep wanting to know more. Because when I heard my first David Paulides interview, I was intrigued. I wanted to know more because I love the unknown. It is the most interesting topic I could ever read about. I hate reality. I really do. This reality. To me, that is reality. Think about it. All the stuff about, fairies and werewolves, all this stuff. They're all made out to be fairy tales or stories in a book. But trust me, if we all know all the people that have actually had a UFO experience or even have been abducted, if you're on this channel and you know that that is reality, what makes you think all the other stuff ain't reality? Like werewolves, fairies, wormholes, Pan. Think about it. Pan is the same image they use to depict what the devil looks like. So what makes you what can you say about that? Why would they use what Pan looks like to depict what the devil looks like? Once again, it's the programming. That's where they got the idea from Pan. If you look at what Pan looks like and look at what they say he looks like, same exact image. They just tweak it every once in a while, you know, just to make it look different from what he looks like. But if you look at the frame of the character, the way it stands, the way it looks, it's exactly like the way they depict him to be. But all they did was give him some red skin and black horns and all this other, and a black goatee, you know, and a little villain mustache, you know, just to color it up a little bit so it won't look nothing like that. So you won't figure that part out, but it's self-explanatory. I figured it out. Anyway, but all I'm saying is you got to get away from what you think reality is. And just open up your mind to different areas. I'm telling you, it is a whole new experience, and believe you me, it is exhilarating. I love it. I love learning about the unknown. I do. That's the one thing that I can say I enjoy the most, is learning about the unknown. And when I get deeper and deeper into it, I just want to keep digging. I just want to keep going, because I may find something else. I know some stuff that I know none of y'all ready for. And when I feel you guys are, I will share it with you. But until then, it's just going to be about this right here, what I'm doing. You know, talking about these people, not throwing a little bit of stuff here, throwing a little bit of stuff there. You know, and it kind of makes it all make sense. But you have to be willing to believe it. That's the whole point. That's what separates people like me from people like the other ones, who sometimes rely on skepticism before they rely on learning about the unknown knowledge. This is knowledge that's never been recorded into history, you know. So I'm just saying. But I hope I'm not rambling here. I know it's been a pretty good minute, so I wanted to get a new video in so you guys can stay abreast of what's going on, you know. But it's getting late, and I want to enjoy my days off. I may send you guys another video tomorrow. I told you, I just may be spending my days off with you guys. I love you guys, man. You guys are my family, my YouTube family. I love you so much. Okay? And I can only show my appreciation by making sure you have the best video to listen to when it comes to talking about these people that vanish in national parks. And every once in a while, I'm going to add a young child that may have disappeared or may have been kidnapped because they have to come home. They really do. So, you know, I try to do my part in finding these people. You know, it may be a little bit on out there side, but as you can see, these missing 411 cases, they do not apply to logic. So you got to go beyond that. The illogical, the unknown, the mysterious. That's why I'm here. I add that flair to it. Makes you be like, maybe he's right. Or maybe he's just a crackpot. Or maybe he's been smoking too much ganja. I hear it all the time. You know? I mean, hey, I got trolls just like any other YouTube video that talks about this kind of stuff that I talk about. Or just plain old mysterious stuff. And sometimes I believe it could be either the national park people or the government trying to, you know, discredit me by talking like that. I mean, when I was called a nigger of all names, I was just like, really? You gonna really stoop that low? I mean, that didn't really faze me at all. It don't bother me. It never has. Never been called it before. It was surprising, but I mean, I hear the word all the time. You know, I hear nigger, I hear nigga. You know, I heard them all on TV. Well, I heard other people say it, but I never said it. That's just not me. You know, and if I hear it for the first time in my life, okay, fine. Life goes on. And so do I. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight to listen to me talk. You know, but talking about stuff that we all need to hear, or you all need to hear. So, and I just wanted to share all of this with you, and that's something about that. That is something about that Toys R Us, though, right? Oh my gosh, I love that place. I mean, it was a wonderland of stuff that you could just buy. Ooh, loved it. Collect stuff. You go there. Some people collect toys. They go there to get it. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. But like I said, I just want to thank you guys for coming out and watching my show, watching my channel here. You know, getting the missing 411 on the 411. But yeah, so you know, I hope this video, I hope what I just talked about will kind of make you think. You know, open your mind a little bit more. You know, just kind of take in some unknown knowledge, and all of this stuff will make sense. I guarantee you that, because it makes sense to me. Okay, and when something like this happens, it is what it is. When you try to add stuff to it, you're tainting it. You're not gonna get what the kind of answers you want out of it. So just leave it the way it is, and just look at it, study it. Be like, oh, okay, okay. Call out what you see, even if you don't understand it, and then you keep thinking about it, and you may find some other information about it. You never know what can happen. That's what happened to me. You know, I know a lot more than I did before, and I am just blown away. But anyway, like I said before, I know I keep saying it, but I'm gonna say it this time and actually mean it. Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm gonna enjoy my days off, have a little peace, watch a little TV, eat a little snacks, drink some brandy. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I can't do that here. It's illegal. I don't do that. Anyway, so you know how I do it at the end of every video, right? You do? Okay. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway because I have to. Anyway, aloha, mahalo, and ahui ho. Peace out, brother, and peace out, wahine. Have a good one.